Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen with Solaire, the New Fire, to discuss issues in the gas grill industry, issues that I call infrared myths. Among those are that infrared is all the same, I'll just buy the cheaper one. Infrared burners are good only for searing. Small burners or block ports are a good thing. You can change a conventional grill into an infrared one, and that round rod grilling grids are a desirable feature. Infrared is all the same, I'll just buy the cheaper one. Well, there's a variety of different types of burners that are called infrared out in the marketplace. One of them is the glass top burner. It's actually in more expensive grills at this time, although there was a period of time a few years ago where it was in a system that was being sold by a couple of the different big box stores out there. It differs from an open type ceramic burner in that it has a stainless steel burner box with perforations in it, and then it's topped with glass and then has its grilling grids right on top of the glass. Now, what we've experienced in this is that it takes about 12 minutes for it to reach its full intensity which is only about 800 degrees at the cooking grids, much less than the type of system that Solaire uses. Also, we found that it does, despite the assertions of the manufacturer that because it cuts out the airflow, it starves any flare-ups from the oxygen needed to actually result in a flare. We've not found that to be the truth. In fact, it really kind of pools the grease and just really lets it burn. And then you're left with a residue on the glass that must be scraped clean each time and for it to get its full emission of infrared energy up into the food. Very expensive to replace the glass and very easy to nick and kind of get a spider break into it, so not a very durable system. Another system out there is sold in the big box stores, and it really uses the same type of bar burner, tube burner underneath to heat up underneath the grilling grid. A normal conventional grill uses this same type of burner to heat up the air around the food within the hood once it's closed, creating an oven effect. Well, what this type of system has is underneath the grilling grids is a plate that has a bunch of little holes put into it that actually traps the heat below the cooking grid to the burner area, and then you get a seepage of the heat up through those holes as well as through the cooking grids, which are really not round rods and they're not V-shaped. What they are is an upside down channel that traps a lot of the heat. It's actually an improvement over a conventional grill, but by no means is what's the heat that you're getting onto your food infrared. It's really conductive heat. It's heat that is transferring from the U-shape and through those channels up into the food. It's more convected and conducted. Similar to the previous system is one that also uses that same bar burner, tube burner, but it heats up an area that has a big parabola underneath it or above it that conducts the heat and then irradiates the heat up through the grilling grids. And you can see in the grilling grid that it's got a lot of little holes in it, kind of like the previous system with an upside down V-shaped on this particular one, and you're getting a lot of heat trapped beneath the grilling grid instead of underneath the hood, and so you're getting a more intense heat underneath, but by no means are you getting anywhere close to a Solaire type infrared intensity, and it's really more of a conductive heat from the heat being trapped underneath and then emanating through the steel of the grilling grids. Not as intense. Again, these are systems that are sold in the mass merchants. What these three systems have in common is that they are what I could term closed systems. They lack the interplay between the open flame underneath and the drippings coming down from the food. Just like in a red hot charcoal fire where you've got the drippings go down onto the briquettes and then come back as smoke, which everybody knows is flavor, into the food, you've got a more sterile system in that. You just don't get that interplay and the incumbent flavor from the drippings going down onto the the burner system. With the Solaire infrared burners, we get that nice red hot glow just like the hottest part of a charcoal fire, and those drippings that go onto it instantly vaporize back up into the food as more flavor, more taste, just like the smoke from a charcoal fire. They heat up in a mere 3 minutes to an intensity of over 1,500 degrees at the burners, over 1,000 degrees at the cooking grids, and provide you with the speed that you need in today's busy lifestyle to get in there, get your grilling done, and go down and enjoy your meal with your family. Myth number 2 is that infrared burners are only good for searing. Well, when I see that, it's really more of an attitudinal issue with the manufacturer of the gas grill. Could be that they just have a lack of experience with it. Could be that they have inadequate components that don't allow for turn down, for really flexing the muscles of a finely tuned infrared burner system. With Solaire, we have proven versatility of our infrared burner. We've created what we call Great Grilling Simplified. It's a guide that we provide with all of our grills that we've gone through and we've tested out the Solaire infrared system with all kinds of different foods. Yes, we've done steaks and burgers and hot dogs. That's your traditional type foods that you'll have on the grill, and that what most people, if they're using it, the infrared burner just for searing, will limit you to. But we also go into chicken breasts, pork, veggies, seafood, fish, fruit, all variety of things that you wouldn't think of doing on a grill because it's either, oh no, it's too delicate for high heat. Oh no, they come out so much better tasting on Solaire because of the high heat. The next myth is that small burners or blocked ports are a good thing. There's a lot of gas grills out there that have infrared where they've, in this case, where they've blocked off a whole bunch of the burner areas, or they have small burners, and what it really tells me is that they're very afraid of the intensity of a good infrared burner. So they've just limited it by blocking it off and just not providing the full intensity. With Solaire, man, we've got the full intensity. We have the full-size burners. We even offer the rear infrared rotisserie burners on some of our models. And for those who kind of want that crossover between the higher heat of infrared and the lower heat of a convection burner that they've been used to, that they've probably grown up with, our systems are easily interchangeable from infrared to convection within the same system, just a mere minute changeover to do that. Now that kind of goes right into the next myth, which is that you can change a conventional grill into an infrared grill. Well, with a conventional burner, you're heating the air around the food. It's not as critical, the relationships between the burner and the cooking grid, whereas with infrared burners, you're heating that food directly. Well, we've designed our Solaire grills from the ground up to optimize infrared. What you'll find with most of the manufacturers out there who say they have infrared, well, they've taken a conventional grill that just, again, heats the air up around the food. They've taken that burner out and put in an infrared burner and said, yep, I've got infrared too. But what they've not optimized on that, because they've just merely taken the conventional, is that there's a big relationship between the distance from the cooking grid to the burner surface. If they are too close, which they might very well be with a conventional burner, it's going to char the outside of the food and leave the inside rare. If they're too far away, they're just not going to get the intensity. And then if they go and block off the ports, like in one of the previous myths, they're going to even be less intense. And they're just, yes, they may be infrared, but they're not the full infrared, not giving you the full infrared experience. We've actually calculated and have designed all of our grills around what we call the infrared intensity index, which is your maximum BTUs of the burner divided by the area above the burner surface to the cooking grids. And 50 is the optimum number. Check that out against any other gas grill that you're looking at that says they have infrared. If they don't have 50, they're probably not giving you the full infrared experience. The last myth is that round rod grilling grids are desirable. We first looked at round rods when we were investigating going into infrared, designing our first infrared grill. But what we found immediately is that with round rod grilling grids, you get just a flood of juices from the food onto the burner surface. And what that leads to is flare-ups and also a quenching, an actual extinguishing of the burner flame for a period of time until it burns off those juices and then reignites. Well, during that whole time where you've extinguished it, you're not getting the benefit of the infrared intensity. So what we do is we've created V-shaped cooking grids that tend to really control the drippings down onto the burner surface. Anything that drips down to the surface is more controlled, drip, 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 instead of a flood. And so it allows the burner to actually extinguish it, or not, to bring it back into the, incinerate it back into the food as more flavor and taste. And anything that's left in the V-shaped cooking grids also just burns off into the food as greater taste. The V-shaped cooking grid is an integral part, works hand in glove with the Solaire infrared burner. It really is the heart of our systems. In fact, it's why we even make gas grills. If we were making conventional grills, we actually wouldn't be in business. This is where we shine, where our strengths are at, and where we have really dialed everything in to give our users of Solaire infrared grills the greatest grilling experience that they could ever get. So as you can see, Solaire infrared grills are the myth buster. We confront these issues head on with superior engineering, great design, and products that provide you the best grilling experience that you can get of any gas grill in the market. It has the speed, it really harnesses the intensity, and it has the versatility to give you the best grilling experience, the closest to a charcoal experience, which most die-hard grillers really are looking for and really feel that they give up when they go to using the convenience of gas. But with Solaire, you get it all. You get the intensity of the charcoal, you get the convenience of gas, you get the controllability of gas, all within the Solaire infrared grilling systems. So this is Rhett Rasmussen with Solaire, the Mythbuster. We look forward to making you a member of our family.